Good day, good day. Well, no, have nobody here yet, but I'm just going to jump right into it. I wanted to do a short one today. Been really sick the last few weeks. Ignored my illness long enough for it to turn from a sinus infection to a lung infection to an ear infection. And yeah, that was fun. Anyway, I don't have a mix it or fix it or nix it this week because I rage vaped everything on my desk in the 3 weeks that I was sick, not being able to taste anything, and haven't mixed anything else up. Hey guys, how goes? Dent, Rawtune, how y'all doing? So was gonna try to come on last week, but was still feeling pretty ill after Christmas, and this week's been really hard to try to get some organization done. My wife wound up with what I had, and she's a bit smarter than me. She went to the doctor right after she got sick. She didn't wait several weeks, with a fever. Anyway, moving on, wanted to talk about recipe creation with tobaccos. I approach it in kind of, I look at the old historic tobaccos, all the aromatics. Hey, Jaybird. All the aromatic tobaccos of the past and even the present, and try to do my take on them. I do some of the flavored cigars and cigarillos, and then basically just anything that I think tobacco would fit into. But I spend a lot of time, interestingly enough, reading about old tobaccos. I just find, the evolution of tobacco to be interesting. We're all vaping. Hey, Andre, how you doing, man? Cold enough for you up there? We got a bit of your Arctic air down here. Hi, Sin. So, where was I? Totally lost my train of thought. Anyway, um, I do quite a bit of reading on tobaccos, and I just find the topic to be really interesting, as addictive as it is, and as big of an impact on society as it has had. It really hadn't been around that long in you know the bigger civilizations, only since the last 500-600 years or so, which in the grand scheme of things is not that long. That's a long time to me and you guys, but not that long. Anyway, some of the tobacconists take on flavoring, and I think some of you guys might have caught the noted show where we talked about aromatics and non-aromatics, and how I think that's a bad descriptor for tobaccos. Aromatics are, usually thought of as flavored tobaccos, or tobaccos that give a room note other than tobacco. And non-aromatics are thought of as pure tobaccos, and in reality, not. There's a very, very tiny amount of tobaccos on the market that aren't flavored in some way or another. They're all cased. But the level of casing is what usually determines, the molasses content, the sugar content, the caramels, the vanillas, all the different notes. Hey, Alex, how goes, man? So that's where I tend to draw my inspiration, but kind of bring it into a modern light. I like to do a mix of well balanced flavored tobaccos, where I, I like to do a mix of flavored tobaccos where the tobacco is dominant and the flavor profile is nuanced. And I also like to do the, classic Vapors dessert tobacco where the tobacco is a hint, although my mixes, they tend to be a hint of actual tobacco and not some dirty note that might be perceived as tobacco. I'm looking at you, TFA RY4 double. And that's basically it. I was trying to think of a way where I could, share that, because a lot of people are starting to dabble more into tobaccos now, and I don't want to take all the credit for that. There's a lot of good tobacco mixers out there. But, my way of doing it is just a ton of reading and you know, I remember talking to my grandpa and my great uncles and everything, and they were all from different parts of Texas and had their own favorite pipe tobaccos with, different tobacconist blends. And, one uncle would have like a caramel cherry something, and another one would have a vanilla, nut something, and then another one would just have a regular old, like a molasses tobacco or something. Oh, hey, yeah, thanks, man. Yeah, that surprised me, man. To be impactful mixer, I appreciate it. I think that there's people that were a lot more impactful than me. I mean, I know I brought tobacco back to a lot of people, or even to some people that never would have even considered tobaccos before. But there are mixers who shook the scene way more than I did. And I do appreciate the mention, though. Thanks for stopping by, Alex. Thanks, Sin. Anyway, so I remember the old guys talking about their different pipe tobaccos, and I was just a kid. I mean, I would steal their chewing tobacco, but who wants to suck on a pipe somebody else has been having hanging out of their mouth, slobbering into all day? Even as a kid, I didn't want to do that. So I do a lot of reading and research, and just playing with different flavorings. I mean, there's no secret to it, no science to it. You can draw your inspiration anywhere. I tend to do a lot of single flavor testing on tobaccos and blending, different tobaccos to see how they affect each other. And, as I move throughout my day and eat different things, I like chocolate. I like white chocolate. I like candy. I like desserts. I'll be vaping these things with food, and I'm thinking, wow, that is a good combination. And sometimes it's just dumb luck. I'll vape one thing right after another and have to mix the two. So, I mean, you could choose to draw your inspiration any kind of way. I'm a nerd. I like to read. I like weird facts and information. So, history is kind of a draw for me. Plus, just all the old tobacco culture is kind of cool and unique. Awesome, Zen. Awesome. Next thing, sick. Yeah. I basically could not taste anything for 3 weeks. I was mixing crazy amounts of mints and peppermints, and looking at all of the sick recipes and palate cleansing recipes on all the flavors, and got so mad I was going to go rate all of them as this is shit. I can't taste it, but of course that was just me. If you can't taste 2.5% in Aware Natural Mint with Flavora peppermint, something's wrong, But just now getting my full sense of taste back and my full sense of smell back. It's been kind of cool not to be able to smell dirty diapers for the last 3 weeks, but I think little dude appreciates it when I can sniff him pooping the second it happens throughout the house. Hey, what's up, Spanky McYankee? Yeah, awesome, Russ. I'm glad you did, man. Um, I don't have a lot to share with you guys this week just because, man, I haven't been able to taste anything in the last couple of days as I've gotten my taste back. My what was the best sick mix in Hall? It was VG and Nick Salt. And that was, I mean, it tasted exactly like stupid amounts of mints to me. I mean, I could tell the mints were cold, but that was about it. I couldn't really. I mean, it was bad. I literally could not breathe through my nose for, God, I want to say like 20 days. I mean, I'm still got my left ear is underwater and my right ear is partially underwater from the ear infections. I've got two more. I could, but then I would have to dig out a cord and actually think they're under those boxes and then dig a path to my audio box so I could get it into the computer. I am going to do some looping and do an intro song. I've got Method One, or Joel, however you know him, has given me permission to use one of his mixes for some intro music, and I'm gonna do some bass tracks over that. I'm gonna do some bass playing over his, and maybe add some vocals to it, and start playing it at the front when I'm waiting to start streaming. And anyway, well, I can play it actually without them hearing it out there too. The acoustic one's actually pretty quiet, but the kid is sleeping in the room right there. And he just went down. I think I'm going to start aiming to do these at 9, but I'm not going to actually start them until he falls out, which is between 9 and 10 sometime. He quit making noise about 9:40, and so I started the stream up for 10 o'clock. Didn't you do, man? FLB Peppermint is like really good. I liked Capella Peppermint a lot because it's got that creamy kind of texture to it, but FLV Peppermint is amazing. It's one of the better peppermints. Hey Shindo, how goes, man? Right, right, Andre. Never ever wake sleeping cranky children. Got my wife a I don't know. You can, yeah. Got my wife an RC truck so she can play around with me. Got her one for Christmas, and yes, I got her one exactly like one of mine so that she wouldn't feel like I got her one so I could have a different one. Anyway, got her one so she could start playing around with me on the little track I made on our property here. I'm going to start doing some RC stuff on my other channel, I think. Hey, Kind. How you doing, man? Yeah, man, it's been a rough few weeks. I was sick, and then as soon as I was getting over it, the wife got sick. Man, I haven't tried Great Lakes Peppermint. I have to get some of that. I don't think I've had any Great Lakes flavors, actually. Surprisingly enough, out of the stupid amount of flavorings I have. Oh, man. Dead batteries. So, yeah, this is still a sick recipe, which is Flavora Peppermint and Inawera Natural Mint. In stupid high concentrations. You too, Kind. Thanks, aliens. Yeah, me too, Shindo. I used to really like Capella just because of the creaminess of it. It reminded me more of the creamy, softer peppermint candies, which I really like. I like the creamy, soft ones, and I like the hard, chalky, old-timey peppermint candy canes. I don't know what they're called. They're like a soft. They don't crack when you bite into them. You know, I actually never used FA peppermint. I think I did. I have it somewhere. It never really struck me over Capella's. Hey, Philippe, welcome. I don't think I've seen you in here before. Well, I do have some tobacco stuff. I've got like an actual schedule that I was getting started on before I got sick when I first started this thing. And cat peppermint worked really well with fruits. I have an actual schedule that I had worked out when I first started on this thing. I'm going to get back to it. I don't know if I'm going to publish it anywhere or just keep it where I can work off of it and modify it as things come up. But I'm going to get back to that coming this week and go back and remix my Mix It or Fix It for next week. So how did everybody have a good Christmas? Did Vape Claus bring you everything you wanted? I think this is the first year in 6 or 7 years that I hadn't asked for something vape related for Christmas. Now Buttermints is different kind. That's an actual flavor, and actually Purellum Buttermint is freakishly accurate. So accurate that it's only ever going to be a Buttermint. Yeah, Purellum Buttermints is awesome. Awesome, Philippe. The Inawera and Flavora tobaccos, man, have really turned things around. They got me completely off nets, which was a good thing. I bet, Russ. Awesome, Sin. I bought myself a Intheon holiday package, and with the different different caps and rings, and let's see, it left Cyclone in South Dakota, and it came to San Antonio, and then it came to Cedar Creek, where I live, and then it went to Austin, and then it went to Cedar Park, and then went to Austin, and then it went to Cedar Creek, and then it went to Austin, and then it went to Cedar Park, where it currently is. So, kind of interesting. I hope I get my package. Firearms clause. Awesome, aliens. Nice, Shindo. I got a PlayStation 4 Pro and a Batman T-shirt, and I don't know, some other cool little stuff. It was awesome. And a whole bunch of white chocolate peppermint Reese's Christmas trees, which are my favorite. Yeah, health insurance is important, unfortunately. What's even weirder is how less affordable it got with the Affordable Health Care Act. More people than ever in America have insurance they can't afford, much less afford to use. I'm lucky in my current job. I don't have to pay anything. But if I want to add family to it, it's like $700 a month. Yeah, Spanky, my stuff usually comes straight to Austin and then straight to Cedar Creek, but I have no idea what's going on with this package. I think I had one more in the past that bounces back and forth like this. There's a zip code that's one number off from mine in Cedar Park, which must confuse them. Benjamin, if you're talking about the Shisha Apple Leaf by M. Grimes, that recipe is actually pretty amazing. I like that recipe a lot. Nice. Bull City, I think, is my favorite vendor as well, Andre. I use them almost exclusively for flavorings, and Nicotine River for salts and VG, and some flavorings, of course, because of their Purillum, and then ECX for the stuff they carry. Yeah, it's a good recipe, Benjamin. You should try that one. Apple and tobacco is actually a really old combo. It's almost a natural fit. Interestingly enough, people were putting slices of apple in their pipe tobacco pouches long before tobacconists were flavoring tobaccos. I wouldn't say they're terrible. I hate their 10. I hate e-cigarette express's 10 ml bottles, and I hate that 50% of their stock is in those terrible 10% 10 ml bottles. You know what, Benjamin? I started using salts just because I wanted to try them out, and I vaped them for about 90 days, and they're just, I use the smoother ones, and that's about all I can vape anymore. I'd use it just like regular nicotine. I don't increase the nicotine rate. I just don't like the throat burn from crappy Nick anymore. And Carolina Extract is really clean Nick as well, but it's a bit expensive for me. And anyway, I like salts. So Shindo. I actually haven't had an exploding one. The last order I got from, I think every order I've ever gotten from ECX, I had a leaker in. And the last one was WS23, and I didn't realize what was on my hands and rubbed right under my eye with wet WS23, and that was a good time. Yeah, I don't like the chubby gorillas for BCF either. I don't like these tall, thin ones either. These are a pain in the ass. Anyway, going on from now on, the format, I think I'm going to focus on specific profiles and specific. Hold on, aliens. I'll get to that in a second. I'm gonna focus on specific profiles and specific combos going forward, and some more about my experimentations on fighting the fade of a few of the Flavora tobaccos. Shindo. And if y'all have anything y'all want to see, put them in the thingamadoodler down there, the comments and whatnot, after the video's posted, and let me know. If you do them in the live chat right now, they won't transfer over. Spanky WS23 is not really menthol. It's the best for cold with no, yeah, like Shindo said, it's the best for cold with no menthol flavor. And any suggestions for subbing the Granny Smith apple in Pheasant Ridge? I chose that one just because it's tart without being too tart, and it has, I don't know how to, the best way I can describe it, and this is weird, it's got a round apple flavor with a bit of tartness to it. Whereas TFA Granny Tart is got a real candyish note to me. So I don't know, maybe, I don't know. Fuji, I think Fuji would be too wet. I don't know what to tell you about that. I would say just get Granny Smith apple. Flavora apple might work, but if you're having trouble getting Granny Smith, you might have trouble getting it too. Yeah, FLV apple might be a good sub for it. It won't be tart, but it's got that same round apple note to it without being too juicy. FA Fuji is going to be too juicy and fade too much. And then JF Fuji, I think it'll be a little too wet for it. So, yeah, aliens, the Granny Smith apple is well worth having. Hey, Dark Man. Sorry I missed you on your visit this time. Well, at least at this age, Davey, he's going to be a lot easier to deal with once they get more vocal and demanding. At least mine's loud. I don't remember my other kids being this bad, but hey. Yeah, man. I just couldn't do it this time, man. Had too much, did a bunch of traveling to see family and whatnot. Was sick before and during that, and just couldn't take the time out. Anyway, I'm starting to ramble now. Uh, Trying to mimic Marlboro Red. Philippe, there is a recipe by Chemical Burn Victim. Let me see if I can find it. And I always used to say that mimicking a specific cigarette was pretty much impossible because you couldn't do it. And while I still think that is the case, you can. Chemical Burn Victim has mimicked a cigarette. So, I can't find him by. And I wished I could remember the name of the recipe. There it is. Here, I'll link it in the YouTube chat. So he says this all started looking a lot different in the beginning. He was going for a nutty, woodsy, earthy vibe with a hint of tobacco. Blah, blah, blah. Anyway, this one right here reminds me of smoking a cigarette. And it actually is not horrible. I mean, it's Chemical Burn Victim stuff is pretty good. There you go, Philippe. Anyway, I've run out of things to talk about this week. I wanted to jump in and do something and try to get back in on this after being sick. And next week we'll get back to my organized content and seem a bit more focused. Also get back to the mix it, fix it, or nix it. And anyway, thank y'all for listening to me. Thank y'all for mixing my stuff and talking about my stuff. And let's have a great 2018. See y'all later.